Hi guys, welcome to Flip the Deck Tarot. In today's pick a card reading, we're going to be looking at the energies present for you in January 2023. So I am a couple of days later than I planned with this January reading. So we can think of this as maybe a little bit of an energy check-in because I'm catching up with you a few days into the month when this reading is going up. So yeah, we're going to look at the energies present for the month. You may have already noticed and experienced some of the things that come up in this reading, or these could be things for you to look out for the rest of the month, but we're just going to check in. So we have 3 readings to choose from today. For reading number 1, we have the Malachite. Trying to get it to focus. There we go. For reading number 2, we have this Bumblebee Jasper. And for reading number 3, we have this Opalite Heart. All right, take as much time as you need to pick the reading or readings that are calling to you the most. I'm going to have your timestamps down below in the description box. I'm going to jump in with reading number 1, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, number 1. If you were drawn to the Malachite, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out what energies are present for you in the month of January 2023. So starting out the new year, what's going on for you? Let's flip over your crowning energy. I think I'm going to end up adding to this energy a little bit with some tarot just to really get the specifics, but let's see what energy is going on for you in general with your first oracle card. So you guys, wow, you guys had growth. This card says, I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Wow. I'm feeling like this is setting the tone for you for the entire year, but we're only talking about January, but there's something about this. I'm like, this is more than just January. So this might be something you're starting in January, even something that started before the beginning of the year, but it's like your mindset is around growth this month. It's around like, how far can I go? How far can I expand? Let me shuffle over here because I think I almost blew your candles out. Yeah, there's an interesting energy coming from this. Like, I feel like you guys, I feel that your energy is really grounded in the present moment in January, but like there's something that's really extending out past this month. So this might be that you're kind of figuring out how you can grow or what direction you want to move going forward, maybe for the rest of the year, maybe just changes you want to make in general and ways you want to grow going forward, period, in life. But I do feel like your energy is expanding out way past just January. Your mindset, your focus is expanded out past this month, past even these next couple of months. It's really interesting how that's coming through. Yeah, I don't know if it's that you guys might be setting goals this month, like many of us are doing at the beginning of the year, and that might be just what that energy is about. But overall, it kind of feels like whether or not you're really sitting down and writing out formal goals or really getting things all spelled out, which for some of you, that's definitely a part of this energy. It's like during this month, you're in this process of developing a vision for the direction that you want to grow. And like I was saying, not just now, like not just in the near future, you might be really looking out for a while, like developing a plan that will extend out into the future, maybe even a couple of years. Okay, to add to that, we have this Temperance energy. That explains a lot to me. That explains why I have that feeling of being grounded in the present moment. And also there's this energy being projected out into the future because Temperance is about balance. And it's kind of about having one foot, like in this case, I would say it's like one foot in the present moment, one foot in the future, one foot toward this growth. The way it's typically depicted, it would be like one foot on the earth and one foot in the water. And that's what's creating that balance. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Wands. Yes, yes, yes. That's what it is. The 3 of Wands, we're talking about putting plans into action. We're talking about formulating, growing, expanding. It's that expansive energy. It's basically growth. um, so yeah, that being the bottom of the deck, that really solidifies that. I feel like you're finding a clearer vision of what's coming next for you. Very future-minded energy that I'm picking up on here for January. And there's also a sense of starting right now. So there's that energy of being grounded in the present moment as well, like being very future-minded, but also grounded in the now, very practical, and also this expansive and dreamy energy. I love that. I love the way that for this month, your theme here is to really apply this temperance energy, really apply your ability to dream big, or your ability to project out into the future and to figure out where it is that you want to end up, but also to be grounded enough in the present moment that you can find joy in the present, that you can put in the practical actions and steps that need to be taken right now, because our choices today really do shape our future. So it's like knowing exactly where you want to go is really helping you and bringing that balance. I love this. Beautifully balanced energy. And yeah, that balance and moderation is definitely, of the temperance card, that's definitely showing up for you in January. What's really interesting to me is that I remember this temperance energy being a main theme in one of the piles that I did for the 2023 yearly reading that I did last week. This temperance energy was showing up as a main theme. So I kind of wonder if for some of you, this concept of temperance, this balance, this moderation is making multiple appearances in your world right now. And this might be ultimately confirmation of this balanced approach, kind of this energy of being in the here and now, but also being very future-minded, planning for the future, getting excited about the future, figuring out what's next for you. Yeah, I feel like, especially if this is a recurring message for you, this is really an indication that during January, it's like this starts for you. So if this idea of temperance has been recurring, and you might have thought like, well, I don't know how to balance this out, or I don't know how to, like maybe it's kind of this feeling of, I'm not sure what practical steps to take that's going to get me to where I'm trying to go. So you may have felt a little bit of conflict with this energy of not knowing how to bring the balance to a situation in your life, not knowing how to even out the scales in a situation in your life. But the fact that this is showing up for January is like, it's really confirmation that this energy is around for you in this month. This is available to you. Finding the answer to this, finding the way to balance this out, is happening for you in January, and getting more clarity about that is happening right at the beginning of the year. So it couldn't be better timing to start figuring this out and to start making moves for the future. Yeah, there's this energy of like starting out on the right foot. And that's not just for the month. So by the time I'm catching up with you, you may have already felt this energy of really getting off on the right foot for the month, but this is also about the entire year. So yeah, this imagery of starting out on the right foot, in terms of temperance energy, I would take that to mean as like you're starting out on both feet, meaning that you're starting out in a really stable position, or you're getting into this place of stability really quickly, probably towards the beginning of this month. Finding this place of stability, finding this place of balance. Yeah. Cultivating that stability right from the beginning of the month, but not just that, right from the beginning of the year. Like I was saying, with the temperance energy really focusing on balance and being about taking that moderated approach, it's also about blending things together in a harmonious way, or finding a middle ground. And I think that maybe for some of you, balance is the key to this growth, because it's like you want to bring all parts of you along as you progress, as you grow into the person that you want to become. You want to make sure that you're not leaving pieces of you behind, and that balance and moderation of temperance energy is what guarantees that. So it's like you're not going to want to advance financially if it means that you're not able to nurture any of the relationships in your life, or you're not able to connect with people because you're always so busy with your work. You want to be able to develop all areas of your life. And I feel like this is coming almost with this sense of maturity. So this is another indication about this growth energy. Part of you has matured to the point where it's like you realize you don't want, how can I say this? It's like you don't want necessarily to have like all of this great success and growth in one area of your life if it means destroying another area of your life or neglecting another area of your life. For some of you, if it means neglecting yourself, then it's like not going to be worth it. So this growth and this mature mindset about how you're going to move into the future with this temperance energy, I just love it. It's so balanced and it's so mature. It's like, you know what's going to work for you from experience and what's not going to work. That's just kind of the energy it's giving me. Like from experience, you know this, and that shows growth. And this is what's going to propel you into the future as well. So this balance is the key. This is also, temperance is also, these cards aren't numbered. I never really thought about that, but temperance is card 14 in the major arcana. So this could be that January 14th could be a significant date for you. This could also be the 5th because we could reduce 14 to 5, or these might be significant numbers for you. Let me look at the calendar really quick to see what moon phase we're in around the 14th, because I do think for some of you that is a significant date. We have the moon in Libra on the 14th. So Libra is all about balance, balancing the scales. We were talking about this with temperance energy. So there's just further confirmation and another indication that balance is key this month, and balance is going to be key to the growth that you want to see in your life. Let me check where the moon is on the 5th as well. You guys might not be seeing this video until, yeah, you're probably not seeing this reading until the 5th. So let's see. We have Gemini energy on the 5th, the moon in Gemini. So that's too weird, Gemini the twin. So again, this energy of balance, or like opposing sides or opposing forces here, and kind of bringing this together, that's too weird. I feel like saying that although you may already have had your mind on growth and expansion this month, there's something unexpected here. So be ready for like an unexpected boost or an unexpected opportunity for growth. Be ready for these types of things to present themselves to you this month. Temperance energy can represent even like a person or a situation in your life that at first you might not expect this person or this situation to provide so much help or so much insight or clarity for you. And it's like this thing actually turns out to be really helpful. So because temperance is about blending things together that might not initially seem like they go together, I feel like some of you, this might be something that at first it initially strikes you as like, that's not going to help me, or that's not going to propel me forward, or I'm not going to get anything out of that experience. And then it actually turns out to be a huge opportunity for growth, or it makes you see something differently. You might read like a random article in a magazine or something. It might even be something that on the surface it appears like it's not even a topic you would be interested in. So you initially feel like this isn't going to resonate with me at all, but you end up like extracting this pearl of wisdom. It's so interesting that the imagery here is leading me to this small little blue dot in the middle of the image on the growth card. It's like you end up extracting this little pearl of wisdom. And it's unexpected, an insight, and it's something that kind of moves you forward in this direction of growth. It makes you see things differently. For some of you, this could even be really good advice that comes from someone that you don't expect to get that good advice from. Someone that you wouldn't generally think of as helpful. This is coming across a little weird, but maybe someone that you don't think would be helpful to you. Maybe someone who sees the world very differently than you do, but they might present a different view for you, and it makes you think about something in a new way that helps you gain new perspective. But this is definitely connected to some form of growth you want to see in your life. I just see that there's so many opportunities here for you to grow, and that balance is going to be the key to bringing that in. In January, you're allowing all experiences to teach you, and you're observing. You're even observing yourself and observing how you respond to certain situations, and you're learning from it all. You're growing from it all. You're growing from every experience that you have in January. And I feel like your energy is that of being open to learning from everything, like letting the world be your teacher, letting the people around you be your teacher. And it's like you're putting the pieces together. You're starting to see things, you see how other people react in situations, you kind of question how you do. And I just feel like you guys are really putting the pieces together in January, and it's a huge step in this growth. And this is massive growth, I feel like, for a lot of you that's been going on for a while now. And that might be why, like, some of the final pieces are coming together this month. Some of the questions that needed answering, some of the unfinished business, some of maybe even some of the lessons that haven't made complete sense to you so far. It's like the pieces are clicking into place. In relationships, I do kind of want to touch on this. In relationships, this could be that you are coming to an agreement or an understanding with someone in your life. This could be a situation where your viewpoint is now being heard, you're being understood, and this goes the other way as well. This is also you're seeing and hearing and understanding another person's viewpoint too, in a situation that could have been a sticking point for a little while. This is the energy of resolving conflicts and misunderstandings and kind of coming back together with someone. And this could be a fire sign. We're dealing with this temperance energy, so particularly a Sagittarius for some of you. This could also be a water sign as well, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Yeah, you guys might be the fire or water sign, so take that as it resonates. But I feel like this is about bringing two sides together, resolving some sort of conflict, making things make sense, and it's a huge step in growth for you. So if it is about a relationship for you, and if this was a relationship where you feel like the relationship needs to grow, or like you've grown a lot and as a result of this relationship, it could be directly tied to that. I do also want to point out that the Temperance card does follow the Death card in the tarot, and the Death card is all about transformation. It's about growth. And I feel like that's where that energy is coming from, that this growth has been going on for a long time. And finding this balance is coming after a huge transformation. It's coming after an inner upgrade. Like, I feel like you guys have really upgraded your inner world in a way. You've upgraded your perspective. You've learned a lot of lessons. So yeah, this growth has been going on and it continues. And part of why you're able to find the balance that you're finding in January is because of the lessons you've learned so far and the transformation that you have come through. Yeah, and you guys are definitely, with this Temperance energy, you're definitely blending that more spiritual side with of yourself with that more grounded side. You're receiving inspiration and you're taking practical action. I love this. Okay, I pulled you some of these cards here. I typically would use like maybe the tea leaf cards or something, but I wanted to switch it up. So we're doing 3 key ideas for you this month, and we're just going to let the cards introduce us to these 3 key ideas. You guys got 2 color cards and 1 environment card. So let's see what you have. You have wine. You have volcano. It's getting juicy. And you have peach. Right after I say it's getting juicy. Well, oddly enough, for some reason, this whole situation here is giving me Hawaii vibes. I don't know what that's about. So that's obviously a specific message for somebody. I don't know if that's like a trip to Hawaii. I don't know if like you live in Hawaii. I don't know what's going on. And it might not be Hawaii specifically. It might be like a tropical location. But for some reason, I got those vibes from this combination of energy here. Yeah, what is this about? I feel like this is a really fun vacation for somebody. Let me know if that resonates, because that is specific, but really interesting. So when we're dealing with this energy of wine, this is like really happy energy, very social energy. So you might find that you are more social in January, that maybe you're reconnecting. We were kind of talking about coming back together with somebody. So this might be reconnecting with friends or loved ones. This is very celebratory energy. All of this energy is really amazing. Like volcano energy is about kind of like a burst or a surge. And I feel like for you guys, this is a burst and a surge in your growth. This is like massive expansion for you. And for some of you, it might feel like things just click together in January, like better than you could have planned. If you could have planned it out exactly, this is way better than anything you could have imagined, because it feels like this month really is propelling you forward. It feels like there might be kind of an explosion of inspiration, of ideas, of clarity. For a lot of you, this might be about how to balance out a situation. It's like this information might come all at once. And this is very joyful. This is a very joyful vibe here with this peach energy. It makes me think of like everything's peachy, like it's peachy keen. It's very good energy. It's like sun energy. If you're familiar with the sun card in the tarot, it's like that kind of energy. So I feel like things are growing in a very positive direction for you. Just looking at the imagery on this temperance card with this rainbow and like all this bright energy, such a balanced vibe here. I love it. So let's look at some specific areas of life. Let's look at love, money, and then we're going to close out your reading with some advice. So let's see. Now, when I say love, it doesn't have to be romantic love. This can be any type of relationship in your life. Friends, family, friends that you haven't even met yet. This could be a soul tribe that you're calling in. So what is going on for you in January? Wow. In January with your love and relationships. You have the 9 of inspiration, 9 of wands energy. I'm probably going to want to clarify that a little bit, because the 9 of wands can be about boundaries being up. It can be about keeping your distance. So this could be, I'm going to clarify that. I think it might be a little different for all of you. For some of you, I want to peek at the bottom of the deck, the Chariot. Yeah. That's very interesting. We have this growth energy. Chariot energy is all about growth and forward progression. So what I think the message is for some of you here, and I'm going to clarify this, for some of you, there are certain people in your social setting, this can be friends, family member, romantic partners, that you do want to remain, you want to maintain boundaries with. And that could be why this 9 of wands energy is coming up. There might be in some situations, and you'll know if this is the case, for you to move forward, your best step forward, your best step for like personal growth and forward progression is to remain closed off to certain energies. Let me put it like that. To maintain some boundaries that you have put in place. And I feel like for a lot of you, these are past boundaries. So these might be boundaries that you have already put in place. Although for some of you, part of your growth in January might be establishing some of these boundaries. Letting some people know, like, kind of what's okay and what's not okay. Letting them know when you're available and when you're not available. And this is growth for you. This is forward progression. So I feel like you're going to know who those people are. These are people who you have maybe already thought about putting up some boundaries, or these could be boundaries that have already been in place. Nine of Wands can also talk about being really near to the end of a cycle, and it is really viewed as a card of encouragement as you approach the 10 of Wands, as you approach kind of closing something out and moving past a challenging situation, moving past, I think challenging is the best word. I'm kind of thinking like difficult times, or maybe rocky rocky moments in a relationship, this is like that little bit of encouragement. Just hold on, we're almost there type of energy. Let's clarify this just a little bit. It's Nine of Inspiration. Why is the Nine of Inspiration here? Why is the Nine of Inspiration here? What's going on with this Nine of Inspiration? So we have the Heart of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Nine of Pentacles. Wow. I'm going to probably peek at the other two cards that flew out. It's really interesting because we were talking about maintaining boundaries, healthy boundaries in your relationship this month. I feel like that's going to be crucial, especially with this Temperance energy, balance. So because you are balance-minded in the month of January, I just feel like any unbalanced relationships in your life, they're not something that you're interested in maintaining. Not something you're interested in moving forward the way that they are, if that makes sense. So I feel like you guys are going to be speaking up about things that don't feel in balance for you, things that don't feel like they're working for you, things that don't feel like it's a good fit. The Nine of Pentacles is like the perfect fit. And I feel like if it's not that good fit, if it doesn't feel balanced, if it doesn't feel reciprocated, if these were people who you're like, I'm going to maintain this boundary, you might have to come right out and say it in January. We have the Ten of Pentacles, the Two of Cups. Oh my gosh, you guys. I love this energy. This is beautiful energy. Okay, all of these cards were definitely meant for you, but a little bit bigger of a message than I had planned. But I love that all of this came out because I feel like there's some contrast available for you in January. There are relationships and opportunities that feel like that perfect fit. With the Ten of Pentacles here, that's like having everything that you ever wanted. It can be that family vibe, really pulling close to those who mean something to you and those who you want to grow with and build something with. And the Two of Cups, so just beautiful energy, especially for romantic connections, but really people that you see eye to eye with, people you see going forward with, growing with. Those kind of relationships that you really see like this could grow. There's like a lot of opportunity there, and there's also the opportunity for you to kind of notice the difference between the two. So it might be that you have like these opposing forces in your life. You have two different types of people in your life. You could think of them as like, let's say you have two different types of friends. One's very supportive. One's the type of friend that you could see like still being friends 50 years down the road. And there are other people where you feel like you have to maintain certain boundaries. So this is growth here. This is all about growth because where you want to grow to in your relationships in your life in general is to this energy, the energy of something you can work with, something you can grow with, somebody who is meeting you where you are. And that's in all relationships. So, wow, I feel like that's clarity for you. In the month of January, it's clarity about exactly what you want in relationships, whether these are family connections or friends, romantic partners, it doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like who's in your inner circle and who's not, and you have complete clarity about that. I really love this energy because I love getting clear about stuff like that. And like sometimes in order to grow, you do have to cut certain things off, and it makes room for beautiful relationships to enter your life. So let's look at your finances for January. Okay, finances for January 2023, number one. I think we are recording again. Sorry guys, I think the camera shut off. Wow, okay, there's your card, hold on. Okay, we have the Ace of Voices. We're looking in the area of your money and your finances. We have the Ace of Voices, which is the Ace of Swords. So there's new ideas flowing to you in the month of January in terms of something that could be beneficial financially for you. So mental clarity about something. I feel like with this growth and temperance, we've been talking a lot about mental clarity. This might be like a new financial idea coming your way in the month of January. This could be something starting to make sense to you. So there could have been an idea that you have, or even a financial strategy for some of you. This could be like wanting to save a certain amount of money, and you might be implementing these plans in January, because there's a very structured and logical approach when we're talking about swords energy here. But I feel like you might be gaining new clarity about how to organize your finances, or about how to make more money, or how to grow the money that you have. And if this hasn't happened for you yet in this month, I feel like just be really open to this, especially if your finances or increasing your finances has been on your mind a lot recently, or has been one of maybe the goals that you're setting out to achieve at the beginning of the year. I feel like there's energy here for this, and there's like new clarity and new ideas, even about something that you may think like, I don't know how to do that at all. Like, I don't know how to budget, or I don't know how to save, or I'm not really sure how to make this profitable. Be open to these ideas coming to you in January, especially with this energy that we had with the Temperance card, and like these ideas and maybe this suggestion or this method might come to you in a really unexpected way. The Priestess at the bottom of the deck. So for some of you, this might be an intuitive situation for you with the High Priestess card here. You might receive an intuitive message. And it could be that you've never been open to receiving such practical financial advice intuitively, but for some of you, that's how it's coming. So really interesting. Trust your intuition there. Yeah, with the Seven of Swords energy under that Priestess card, I feel like trust your intuition, because that's kind of giving me the vibe of like, you might think that this information isn't true. You might think that your intuitive hit isn't on point, or that this advice isn't true. Look it up. Of course, do your due diligence with that. But I feel like there is advice here to trust your intuition about something when it comes to your finances this month. I'm actually going to just clarify this card a little bit further, and then we'll get some advice, and we will close out your reading. Wow. Okay. Ace of Voices. Clarify this Ace of Voices energy for us, please. What's the Ace of Voices here? We have the Three of Cups. So for some of you, there might be a financial win this month, something to celebrate. I feel like if you are in a partnership, a business partnership with someone, this could be your spouse, your partner, a friend of yours. This is a really good indication that some of these great ideas and this great progression is coming this month. Also, I feel like for some of you, this might be some of these new ideas or this new approach. This might come from someone like a friend of yours that you didn't know would be so helpful in this arena. I feel like you have a lot of support. So I wonder what that's about for you. If your finances are tied to like a business that you're growing, an audience that you're growing, something like that, I feel like there's a lot of support for you. You might have people in your workplace that are very supportive of you and your contribution. So I'm kind of getting the vibes of like, this would be a really good time to ask for a raise, or that you might be getting a promotion in January, because I feel like everyone around you is kind of celebrating you. Everyone around you is noticing what you're doing. And you have a lot of support for what you're doing. Bottom of the deck, Three of Swords. So yeah, I feel like this is healing in some way. That's healing. So there might be some healing coming to your finances. Let's close out your reading with some messages and advice. Of course, this is like wide open. We'll just let your guides get across any messages that they want to get to you. Whoa. You are the one. We had make a plan. Wow. Okay. All of these cards flipped over together. So let's just take a look at them because there's like a lot coming through here. You are the one, make a plan. We have feel, just start, and it's a full yes. Wow, you guys. This is really, really beautiful energy here. I think that January is a huge, huge month of growth, like even more so than I realized when we first opened up this reading with this energy of growth. This does feel like this is about just taking the steps, again, being really grounded in that practical energy and what can you practically do right now, but also being very focused on the bigger vision that you have. I feel like this energy of you are the one is like you're the only one who can do this. There's a space that only you can fill, and it's really time for you to step into that. And it's like all this growth you're experiencing, it's preparing you for that. We did have this volcano energy, so for some of you this might be a big surge, a lot of growth all at once, but you're the one for this. You're the one to do this. We were talking about this energy of like potentially getting promoted or being chosen in some way, being supported. There's definitely energy here for that, but there's also this feeling of just start. We were talking about taking that practical action in the here and now, and not being so overly focused with the future, bringing balance to that situation. So yes, I would say you guys are on the right track for January. It's a full yes. It's a 100% yes. This is just about bringing balance, making a plan, stepping into this role, and really also be open to new ideas presenting themselves to you this month. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for you, number one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you enjoyed this reading and if you resonated with any of these messages, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye. Hi, number two. If you were drawn to the Bumblebee Jasper, this is going to be your reading. We're going to take a look at the energies that are present for you in the month of January 2023. So let's turn over your first oracle card and get an idea for the crowning energy. You have perseverance. I love this energy. This is great energy to start out with. This card says, I know I can do whatever I set my mind to. So January is a month of determination for you. Why do I feel like why am I feeling like for some of you, this is about recommitting to something, or even recommitting to yourself in a way. It's like recommitting to showing up for yourself. So for some of you, this perseverance energy is about restarting something. I'm going to open this up a little bit. See what else is here before I dig in too deep, because you guys might have some other messages for you around this. So determined. So I'm wondering what you guys are either starting or restarting in January, because I do feel like for a lot of you, this is about restarting something, because this is energy of like, I've had to stay committed to this. You might have been challenged in this. You might have been, the way this is coming through is like, you might have been tried. Like, circumstances, people, situations may have gotten in the way of this in the past, or made you, slow down a little bit. Maybe you didn't stop, but maybe you slowed down. But that's where, yeah, this energy of recommitment and persevering is coming in. Let's see. Oh, okay. You had, of course you did. Of course you did. You had two cards flip out. Ooh. Here I am complaining and you have the Sun card. Wow. Wow, this is beautiful energy. This is whatever you're determined about this month, or whatever you begin this month that might be difficult to continue. I feel like whatever goal you set, whatever you put out there for yourself, you're going to achieve it. You're going to stick with it. And this is a reminder to persevere. And with the Sun energy, this is kind of a reminder that Whatever you set out to do, it's going to be so good. Like, this is your reason for persevering. The outcome of this is going to be so good. It's going to bring you so much joy. It's totally worth it. Two of Cups. You guys stop. This is, yeah. This is absolutely gorgeous energy. I'm going to take a look at the bottom of the deck. Strength on the bottom of the deck. Talk about perseverance. Love this card. Wow, you guys. Like, you are persisting in something. I just heard persisting in a belief. So holding on to a dream. Kind of like, you know that if you put this vision out there for yourself, you can have it. So for some of you, this is the energy you're entering this month with, maybe recommitting to something with this kind of energy. For others of you, the goals that you set for yourself this month, the vision that you have for yourself this month, first of all, beautiful energy in terms of encouragement, that you will accomplish what you set out to do. But this is a determined energy and a real positivity that you're bringing to this. So whatever you've set out there for yourself, you can do it, you can have it, you can be it. Staying determined, staying locked in on that vision this month. I'm in love with this energy. For some of you, because this idea of recommitment, so this might be like, you know, something you started before, or an idea you had before. But for some of you, you might not be necessarily revisiting an old idea per se, like maybe not returning to a particular idea, but it's almost like you're revisiting or returning to yourself in general this month. Kind of like finding your center. Perseverance has a lot to do with leaning into and trusting our inner knowing, or our intuition. Because in order for us to persist, to persevere, to keep going, to be determined, we have to trust. We have to trust that we are on the right path. We have to trust that inner guidance to lead us down that path. We have to trust that if we get ourselves on that path in the first place, and if we keep putting one foot in front of the other, that it's going to lead us to where we're trying to go. We have to believe that. So I feel like your belief is increased. In January, there's like a positivity surrounding you. Even when things are rocky, when they get tough, I just feel like you know what your end goal is, and that's enough. That's enough to keep you going. I feel like following that inner guidance in January is very, very important to you. It's big. It's a kind of a big idea for you. And this idea was honestly probably a big idea for you before this month, before this year started. Because I think what's really allowing you to persevere, to commit, or to recommit to whatever this is. It could be to the people and the things that are really, really important to you. I think it's that inner knowing. It's kind of the fuel to the fire this month, and I feel like it's been there. That's been brewing. That's been developing. That's been strengthening, and that's why you can approach the situation with such determination, or you can reinvest yourself into a situation with so much determination, because you know you're following your inner guidance. You know something's leading you that way. For some of you, this is a person with the Two of Cups. This is about somebody, but it doesn't have to be. This can be about any situation in your life. This is all about, like, you're setting your mind to something in January, or whatever you're setting your mind to. I just see this really positive outlook here. What's interesting about this energy is I kind of feel torn. I feel really split, and I feel like that's most likely because for some of you in January, there's this feeling of this like shift toward the positive and looking at your goals and your dreams for yourself through a really positive lens. And it's like, that's going to flow for you in January. It feels like this comes really naturally for you in January. It's like it's your natural state. It's your natural vibe. But I also kind of see that this energy of the Sun and the Two of Cups might be for some of you a little bit of advice and guidance about how to approach these moments when the doubt starts to creep in. Because even if remaining in a really positive state of mind for most of you just comes very naturally this month, you still might have like your tiny moments of doubt or tiny moments where there's like, you know, a little hiccup, there's a little bump in the road. Moments where you might think about giving up, or you might wonder if it's going to work out, like wonder if you're going to get there. So the advice that I'm seeing is just in those brief moments, and it's like, it's really super important to emphasize that your guides keep calling these brief moments, brief moments. So that's kind of the energy of like, don't get so caught up in the little hiccup, the small little thing that didn't go exactly according to plan this month. Don't even sweat that stuff, because they are only small moments. They're not lasting moments. This is not energy that you're carrying with you throughout the entire month. This is a very positive looking month, actually. So your guides are emphasizing that these are only small moments of doubt or frustration or a hindrance. It's only for a moment of time. These moments will pass just as quickly as they came, and really reminding you to tap back into the feeling of the place you want to end up. So the feeling of getting there, the feeling of being there, whatever that is to you, wherever you're trying to go, really sitting in that energy of that energy of the dream being a reality. And for some of you, that might be a really specific message, because this might literally be a dream. The way your guide showed it to me, this might actually be a dream that you had, a vision that first came to you in a dream. But this is really, what this energy is saying is, sit in the end result of whatever it is that you're wishing to bring into your life this month, or wishing to begin to cultivate this month. In those brief moments of doubt, just remember why you're doing this. Remember what it's going to feel like when you get there. Remember how great it's going to feel when you accept that position. Kind of remind yourself of that. So it's almost giving me the feeling of like you've already lived this. That's why I think some of you, for some of you, this might have been a dream or something, or it's a very clear vision that when you can really get connected to it, it's like it has already happened. And that's really the energy to sit in, to remain in, really in that energy of like, it's already done. And this is what it's going to feel like. This is what it's going to be like. This is how exciting it is. This is how bright my future is. And that's the driving force this month. I love that energy. I love that advice, because I feel like we could all use that advice sometimes. Because sometimes we can feel like a really brief moment is really defining our existence. I mean, I know that happens to me. Like, you can look back on it and think, oh, that was just a little thing. It passed. It's over. It's in the past. But, you know, at the time, it can feel like, wow, this is a lot. This is, yeah. I actually don't even want to be in that energy, because, yeah, this is telling you, let the positivity overwhelm you. Don't get overwhelmed by, any little bump in the road. Don't let that bump overwhelm you this month, because there's a lot of really beautiful, very bright energy surrounding you. So there's no need to kind of wallow in. I think that's why that energy felt so off to me, because I'm like swimming around in your energy for the month, and it felt so opposite to that, to even sit in the energy of things like not turning out well, or not going well this month. So yeah, I feel like it's almost, it's like it's a foreign idea. Your energy is so positive this month. I I feel like you're taking more things in stride, and you're not shying away from the things that are difficult. And also like realizing that the obstacles that you face, they're just little tiny bumps that you're easily going to get over. If you doubt yourself, your guides are saying just think about and remember and kind of tap into all of the obstacles that you've already overcome. Oh, that must have been why they were kind of taking me down that path, and the energy felt so like, ew, I don't want to be in this energy. I want to be in this energy of the sun. It's because your guides are pointing out you have overcome these obstacles before. You have persevered before. You have made big leaps and bounds in your life before. And if you ever start to doubt, if you will continue to grow, if you will continue to create these beautiful changes in your life, just look at what you've already done. Look at how far you've already come as evidence that you can. You know, this is why you're so determined this month, because it's like you have proof that this dream will be real. Okay, I love that. Let's see. Yeah, I just feel this inner strength coming coming through for you guys, and you had the strength card at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, your guides are saying you've totally got this. The quote that I love from the this guidebook, it's something like, I think it's for this card, it's something like your soul wouldn't yearn for something that wasn't meant for you. And that's really an important thing to remember this month. What's meant for you, whether that's something as quiet and subtle as something like inner peace, or if it's like a certain experience that's meant for you, a certain goal that you want to achieve, something you want to create in your life, if it's meant for you, it's worth fighting for. It's worth taking risks for. It's worth growing for. And really, there's so much encouragement here that you really are, you're strong enough and you're capable enough to do whatever you put your mind to this month. So even if some huge dream, some huge goal presents itself, or if you're just steady on this path toward this goal, yeah, don't doubt yourself. Whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve. I'm hearing something, this is so funny. This is very specific for somebody. I just heard 30-day challenge. So maybe for some of you, you're starting like a 30-day challenge in January. It might not be 30 days, but that's just how your guides gave it to me. So whatever the length of time is, if there's something you have challenged yourself to, or if you've like signed up to join something, maybe with a group of other people where you're gonna like go through a particular course or something like that over a period of time, with this energy of the sun and the Two of Cups, this is encouragement to keep going through it, to commit to the 30 days or whatever the length of time is. Commit to that length of time. And I think the reason your guides are pointing that out is because it's like whatever habit you're developing or whatever skill you're learning, it's going to serve you really well. So it might be that in that amount of time, whether this was maybe a week-long commitment, a 2-week-long commitment, 30 days, maybe it's 3 months, whatever that amount of time is, that's an appropriate amount of time for you to see these changes come into your life, for you to see these positive, like whatever the positive influences are associated with this. You will really see it if you stick to this and really commit to it for the full length of time. Do your best to do that. There's no pressure, your guys. It's like, it's all very light energy, but it's like, just see what happens if, because at the end of it, you'll look back and think, wow, that made a huge difference. And this might even be like a habit that carries forward because you see the positive changes that happen in your life. So that was probably really specific for someone. Also, the sun energy is like, there's really a message of like, let your uniqueness really shine this month. Like whatever that means to you, whether it's some unique gift you have or it's a unique vision that you have, let light shine on that this month. So it's actually coming through both ways. Let it shine and let light shine on it. Which I feel like is like, let something be seen. Let something be shared this month. Especially if there's been kind of like that pull and that tug to do it. Yeah, like let yourself be heard. Yeah. With this Two of Cups, if there is a love opportunity or a business opportunity present for you this month, there's so many messages coming through for you guys. There's really a message here that if this is a person in your life, maybe somebody that enters in the month of January or somebody that you've met really recently, you might be kind of wondering about them, wondering what this is about, what this could develop into. I do feel like for some of you, this is happening in January, or like it really, it really might get started. Like you might really start communicating with this person in January. This is the feeling of this is somebody that you can trust. This is somebody who sees things the way that you do. They might have like a similar vision as you, similar values as you. So you see eye to eye, or you have similar interests, something with this person. And this is showing like a bond developing, a bond deepening this month. If this is a business thing or something to do with like your studies, school, this is somebody who has the same goals in mind. So like, let's say this is a group project or something and you've been paired with this person. This would be somebody who wants to get the same grade that you do. They want to put in as much work as you do. They see the project taking form the same way that you do. So you're going to work really well with this person and your goals are aligned. For some of you, this is a water sign. This is a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. And if this isn't a person in your life, this might be a situation or opportunity. This would be an opportunity where you're very aligned with it. Like if a business opportunity comes your way, this would be an opportunity that's really good for you. Like it suits you. Your unique gifts with the sun energy. Leo energy, by the way, with that sun card there, it's like it somehow showcases or really complements your gifts. It can take you where you want to go financially, that type of energy there. So I feel like opportunities coming your way this month are a really good fit. So if we look at some numbers, I noticed in reading one that these tarot cards aren't numbered, which I had never really noticed before. I don't know why it never jumped out at me, but so the sun card is number 19, so the 19th might be significant to some of you, possibly the 10th as well. So I want to look and see when the moon, what sign the moon is going to be in on those dates. Let's see. On the 19th we have the moon in Sagittarius, so more fire sign energy there, Leo, Sagittarius. And if that is a 10th being significant to you, I think we have the moon in Leo on the 10th. Yeah, we have the moon in Leo on the 10th. I'm pretty sure. So that's really interesting because we already had Leo energy here. So yeah, for some of you, there might be some kind of opportunity that presents itself on these dates, or these dates might be significant in some way. Wondering if this has to do with this person, meeting this person, or being introduced to this opportunity, but something seems like a really great fit for you. And there might be a need to kind of persevere in something, to keep trying things, and you're going to stumble upon this good fit. I love that. Okay, so let's look at your 3 oracle cards. I pulled these for you before. You guys had 2 animal cards and an environment card. So let's flip these over, and we're using these cards as 3 key ideas for you for this month. So you have Anteater. That says opportunity to me, because an anteater never misses out on an opportunity. Yeah, this energy can even sometimes be described as like greedy. So I'm not really getting that greedy energy from it, but to me that's like having an abundance, or having your fill. That's kind of the energy, having your fill. And with the sun energy, that's very positive energy there. Yeah, I feel like there's an abundance of opportunities for you. We have Sloth, And we also have eclipse. Okay. There's this message here, especially with this energy of perseverance. The sloth energy is like very relaxed energy. And I feel like your guides are coming through to say, just kind of relax with this. Go with the flow, but keep moving forward with whatever you've got going on in January, like whatever you want to create in January, keep moving forward. But there's this feeling of just relax. And I feel like they're bringing this message out repeatedly with all of this happy, bright, like sun energy here. Just relax. It's like, we've got this, we've got you. Like, just keep doing what you're doing, or just recommit to doing this. Just follow the program is almost how this is coming out. Just do it day by day and just relax with the outcome of this. I also love this eclipse energy. I feel like with this sun energy, there is this message of like letting the good outweigh the bad this month. Remaining in this state of positivity. This might be this really, for some of you, might be the truth about a situation in your life. It's like the good outweighs the bad. It truly does. And if this is like about a person in your life, there might be something that doesn't quite line up, something that's not ideal about this situation, but you can clearly see that the good outweighs the bad. And I feel like your guides are saying, when you see that, when you know that there's an opportunity here, whether this is a person or a situation in your life, if there is just so much to gain from this, even if one little thing doesn't like perfectly, what is the word I'm looking for? Because it's not like perfectly aligned, but even if one little thing isn't exactly as you envisioned it to be, let the fact that the good clearly outweighs the bad kind of overshadow that. And I think this is because I just feel like the outcome here is positive. And there might just be something that you don't see yet, something you don't know yet. This thing that you thought might be a problem, or you thought might not be as ideal, might turn out to actually be exactly what the situation called for. So just keep that in mind, because your guides are saying the good outweighs the bad. And really to allow that in your mindset as well. Allow the positivity to take the lead. Look at the situation in terms of positivity, in terms of where it's going and where you want to go. I love this. Okay, let's take a look at your love and relationships. We'll look at your finances, and then we'll close the reading with some advice. So let's see. Love and relationships, and this can be any type of relationship in your life. Friends, family, romantic relationships, business relationships. I feel like for you guys, we have already seen a little something that might relate to relationships in your life this month. Wow. Really? Really? Okay. The Knight of Voices. That came right out. This is Knight of Swords energy, very fast moving energy. So I'm like, okay, it just flew right out. For some of you, this is about communication, and this might be about hearing from someone this month, somebody who you are interested in having a close relationship with, or someone who you do have a close relationship with. Wow. I feel like this person might be coming forward, and they're very forthcoming with information, with kind of what's been on their mind. I feel like this person might not be too, emotional in their communication, but I feel like they have like a very logical way of communicating their emotions, if that makes sense. They might not approach it in a way that you initially view as emotional, but I do feel like this is someone who's very forthcoming. So for some of you, you might be hearing from, someone, because this is really feeling to me like communication coming in. I want to expand on this energy just a little bit though. See if we can get a little more clarity about this. For some of you, there's a lot of specific messages coming out for this pile, but I feel like for some of you, you might be hearing from, this might be a family member. This might be somebody younger than you, a younger male for some of you. Clarify this Knight of Voices. Five of Swords. This is resolving some sort of conflict for you this month. So there's definite energy here for a lot of you to resolve something that maybe kind of clearing the air with somebody, and a lot of communication. This could have even been a misunderstanding for some of you. Let me look at the bottom of the deck here. Spirit of Cups. Yeah, there's kind of, I feel like for you guys this month, in your relationships, communication is key, and it's what's leading to that emotional connection. The communication, even though it might not seem like it's getting deep and getting into that emotional place, it really is. And it's what's allowing you to connect emotionally with friends, family members. Yeah. I also, if this is a business partnership for some of you, because for some of you, all this Swords energy, this is about some kind of business thing. And I feel like you're hearing about this business opportunity, or you're hearing from somebody this month, if that's the case. And this might kind of like resolve some issue that you had around this, or resolve some conflict or confusion that you had. So there might be clarity coming, more information coming about this this opportunity. But I do think for all relationships, communication is going to be the key here, and it's what kind of opens doors. Yeah. For some of you, I just got kind of an odd message about, like, if you make that call, it will open the door. So in terms of communication that way, this might be like someone you need to get in contact with about some sort of opportunities. So there's a lot of business messages coming out for you guys, and we were looking at love and relationships. Interesting. This might be calling about like a job opportunity or something. Just make the call. Let's look at your money and finances for January 2023, number 2. January 2023, number 2. What do we have for your money and finances for January 2023? Why do you have 3 cards? Let's see. We have the Moon, the Two of Emotions, Two of Cups again, and the Nine of Materials. Wow. Wow. There's an unexpected opportunity here for a lot of you, because this message kept coming up. You guys have the Sun and the Moon. I just kind of have to point that out. Wow. Okay, there's a lot of messages coming through here, but I feel like there's an unexpected opportunity here that could really benefit your finances with this Nine of Materials, Nine of Pentacles energy here. Nine of Pentacles energy is all about just having abundance and being able to like support yourself, being able to provide for yourself in a very luxurious way. So this is like, to me, this is like your cup is running over. You have the Two of Cups. So it's not just that, you have 2 cups. It's not just that your cup is running over here. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here, which kept presenting itself with this idea of perseverance and the Moon. I really think for a lot of you, seeing where something leads, even if you don't have all of the answers, is really important for the ideas that are presented to you or opportunities that are presented to you in January. Because it's like, your guides keep saying, like, just hold on, just keep going, see where it leads type of energy, stick to it for the 30 days or whatever it might be, and see what kind of energy that brings you. So I think there's a lot to be uncovered around something, and this could be a connection for some of you. There's a lot to discover around this. There's a lot you don't know. And I feel like this is exciting. It's like information you want to have. It's like somebody you want to get to know. It's an opportunity that you want to invite into your life. And you have the Two of Cups coming out repeatedly. So business partnerships are looking good. Any kind of like financial partnership is looking good. This might even be for some of you blending your finances with someone. You might be like moving in with someone, sharing rent with someone, something like that. But I feel like this is bringing a really beautiful and harmonious energy. It's like, it's really benefiting your finances. It's freeing up space in your finances. So this is either more money coming in or the money that you already have being utilized in like this beautiful, harmonious, beneficial way. And I just feel like this might be coming to you in an unexpected way. We have the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck, and I really think that the same card is at the bottom of the deck in reading 1. And wow. There's really this message of listening to your intuition here. You even have the Moon. So really listening to your intuition this month. Something told you to begin this. Something told you to recommit to this. Something told you that maybe this person or this opportunity is like really it for you. This is right. And there's this message to listen to your intuition. And that's what's going to keep you going, because there was really a knowing about this. There was a feeling about this. Wow, you guys. Let's finish up with some advice. I don't know why I'm still looking at these cards, because I'm like, wow. You have the Queen of Emotions, Queen of Cups underneath that. Wow. I feel like there really is energy for a lot of like romantic connection here for many of you, and really getting to a deep emotional place with somebody, but it might take a little bit of time to unfold. It's like, just stick with it and kind of like peel back the onion one layer at a time. Wow. Let's get some advice for you. What advice do you have? Messages do you have for number 2 for January? Wow. We have Let It Go. And we have Love of a Lifetime. Okay. I was just saying that. There's a lot of energy here for romantic partnership. Also deep friendship. Kind of this soulmate vibe I'm getting from this. And this could be... soulmates come in all forms, but this feels like really connecting with somebody on a deep level. I feel like for you guys in January with this idea of communication, this is how you're really connecting, through talking and sharing ideas. And it's really deepening this. It's really deepening an emotional bond. For a lot of you, there might be something that you are letting go of and walking away from, and it's allowing you to step into this energy of love of a lifetime. And for some of you, I really think this message is about letting yourself be heard, expressing yourself, let it go, like release it. And there also might be kind of this need to release something out into the world this month, something that you are going to launch or release. But yeah, I feel like this is, for a lot of you, this is about opening up completely. The bottom of the deck, we have Listen. This is all about communication, you guys. This is all about communication. I know it's going to play in differently for each and every one of you, but I think this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful month. Yeah, a lot of you might be hearing from someone or hearing of an opportunity this month. I think I am going to leave it there for you, number 2. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you like this reading, if you enjoyed any of these messages, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye. Hi, number 3. If you were drawn to the Opalite Heart, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out what energies are present for you in the month of January 2023. So let's start by turning over your first oracle card and looking at some of your crowning energy. So for January, we have the Fear card, and this card says, I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Some of you might be facing some of your fears in January, really setting out to do something that scares you a little bit, or something that feels like it kind of it stretches you outside of what's familiar to you. And I feel like this energy already is kind of saying, what would happen if this situation was approached with love instead of fear? Which can be a really interesting question to ask sometimes, depending on what scenario it is. So we're going to open this energy up a little bit more and try to make it make sense in case it doesn't really make sense so far in your scenario, because I am feeling my way through this, and there's actually a lot of situations that are presenting itself with this energy here. But overall, I do feel like there might be kind of a sense of overcoming fears here, facing fears, almost like this feeling of finding peace within the fear, because it's really you tapping into this energy of love and kind of asking yourself, like, how could I dissolve this fear with love? Again, that's a really interesting question to ask, because I think a lot of times we don't, some of us may know this, but it's like we automatically, I think that the opposite of love is hate. But really, and what the energy of this card points out, is that the opposite of love is fear. So testing my resolve to live in the energy of love would be to really eliminate this energy of fear, because they really can't exist at the same time. And when we fall more into this energy of love, we can eliminate a lot of fear. I want to open this energy up a little bit. I feel like your guides in January, your guides are kind of asking you to remember your true nature. And what this energy is pointing out is that your true nature is of love. The energy, the frequency of your soul is love. And just returning to that place as often as possible. I feel like for this energy to come up, I feel like you guys are making a lot of moves this month. Wow. The whole deck just fell in my lap. Right as I'm saying, you're making a lot of moves. There's like a lot of energy that wanted to jump out of the tarot deck. So, hold on. Okay. Your guides are communicating through kind of this feeling and almost like this rushed energy. So I think a lot is happening and unfolding for you in January, and it could be kind of taking you outside of your comfort zone a little bit. And it could bring up some feelings of fear. We're going to dig into this deeper, because it really might not be manifesting in a way that you have recognized it as fear, or you might not recognize it that way. So let's see, clarify this fear energy. Four of Swords. Yeah. Wow. This is actually really beautiful. Some of the messages that are coming through here, the Hierophant here. I wonder if for some of you there is a fear of commitment. And this might not be your energy. This could be the energy of someone else in your field. This could be somebody who... This could be a romantic interest for some of you. And there could be a little bit of fear of commitment here on one or both of your parts. I kind of feel like there might be more on on your end than you might realize sometimes. Yeah. There might be something about this that does scare you. And we have the Hanged Woman underneath the Page of Wands. So there might have been, for some of you, a stall in a relationship. I don't even know why this is coming up, but for some of you, something may have stalled out in a relationship, and that could have evoked feelings of fear in you. It might not be you that is afraid necessarily, but the way that the situation didn't progress could have scared you. And you might even see this person kind of in two different lights. There might be one side of this person that's super mature that you can really see a future with, and another side where you question that, or you question if they are mature, or if they are ready. And that could be where that energy is coming from. Really interesting that that's coming out. This month, first of all, let's define this feeling of fear a little bit more, because I kind of feel like there's a lot of messages coming out here. And with this Four of Swords energy, which is the energy of like holding back, meditating and reflecting, I feel like there's a message here for some of you about really reflecting on what the root cause of a fear that's kind of presenting itself to you this month, or a fear that you're working past this month, really recognizing what the root cause of that fear is, because that's going to help you to kind of get at it from the root and figure out where this all stems from. Because sometimes we have a fear, like the origin of that fear, I think is important. Maybe we're afraid that we're not good enough on some level. Maybe we're afraid that if we change or if we grow, we might lose some part of ourselves. We might be afraid that we'll be judged. We might be afraid that we won't be accepted. Or afraid that something won't work out. And for some of you, I almost have this feeling like sometimes there's a fear of like becoming just like the people that hurt us. So I feel like there's a lot of inner work going on for you in January, and there's a lot of reflection going on. And this is not a negative energy. Like, even though fear can seem like, this is really you remaining in this place of love and looking at the situation through a lens of love, and really asking yourself, what is the fear trying to teach me? And if there is something that you're afraid to do, or kind of like an area that you're afraid to expand into, or you've noticed feelings of fear or apprehension coming up around this, I feel like just saying, ask yourself, does this thing scare you because it's everything you always wanted? And I feel like that Four of Swords energy is really coming here to say, think about this, like contemplate this. Is that fear coming up because it's really important? Because it's really speaking to you on a soul level? Is that why it can like manifest as this feeling of apprehension, of fear? And your guides are also saying, like, if we look at this Four of Swords energy, really this is about not taking action. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is, do not take fear-based action this month. There's kind of this feeling of like, it will cut off the possibilities for you, because any action that you're taking out of fear is limiting you, because there might be something that you really want to do, something you really want to have, something you really want to experience, goals that you want to set for yourself. But if you let fear guide these decisions this month, you'll limit yourself. You'll go smaller. With this Four of Swords, the way she's sitting here, very peaceful, by the way. Like, I love the way that this is depicted, because there's really this like calm, meditative state here. And this is kind of sitting with that fear, or sitting with that energy, sitting with the newness of something, sitting with the idea of it, and being the observer, not letting it like rule us. Don't let the fear rule you. And that's where this thing, like, don't make any decisions out of fear. Do what your heart wants to do. Operate from that place of love. And I'm trying to think of, like, because this can be actually, I don't know if I'm explaining this well, this can be a very interesting concept to look at something through the lens of love when it might not appear at first like that makes any sense. But it's almost like if, let's say, something really touched you on a heart level, and it's like you feel really called toward this thing, you feel like you are pulled in this direction, but then the fear and the doubt creeps in. If you don't go in that direction because the fear was in the driver's seat, then you're going to rob yourself of that experience. But if you did, on the flip side, look at this through a lens of love and think about how much you love this thing, or how much you want to call this into your life, how wonderful it's going to be, how much joy it's going to bring you, and how much joy you're going to spread because of it. That feels like a more inviting energy. That feels more like, okay, let's move in that direction. Let's move toward that frequency. Let's not kind of let the fear of this either not working out, or the fear of how scary this expansion is for us, or this new idea is, or this new person it could be. Let's not let that dictate the decisions that we're going to make. So I really, really hope that that's making some sense. No fear-based decisions this month. Don't hold yourself back. Don't worry about how you'll be seen, perceived, judged if you move in a certain direction. Move in the direction of what you love, of the energy of love. And any kind of fear that comes up, it's just testing, as this card says, testing your resolve to live in the energy of love. What would happen if I followed my heart and didn't listen to the fear? What if I didn't play the what if game about what could go wrong? What if I played what if this turned out great? What if this was a dream come true? And really just sitting with that. The imagery on this card is like, this might be a time to meditate. I feel like I'm always saying that, so maybe we're just supposed to be meditating. But I feel like this might be a month where you're really going to gain a lot of clarity through meditation. And just sitting with these feelings and just tapping into that heart space energy, because that's really what this is about. Tapping into that heart space energy and just seeing, where does my heart want to take me? Not my fear. Where does my heart want to go? Okay. Yeah. You guys just keep saying, what does your heart say? What does your heart say? Because this is very, Four of Swords energy, it's very mental energy. So this is really like, I think the reason your guides keep saying, what does your heart say, is because they're really saying, get out of that mental plane here. Put the swords down. So this representing the swords energy, kind of put your thinking mind to the side a little bit this month and tap into your heart space energy and see where your heart wants to go this month. See where your heart is leading you. And I kind of like, because we're looking at January, I'm like, okay, so we're starting out the year and it's a clean slate for a lot of us. We will view that energy as like, we can start fresh right now. And this might be kind of a reminder to do that. So as you are starting fresh, as the slate is wiped clean, in some senses, really tap back into, what does the heart want? What is your heart telling you to do? Because that can be a really good direction for you the rest of the year. Yeah. Your guides are saying this month, listen here, not here. Because there's all these logical reasons, there's all these things that could happen, and all these opinions and voices of others, and just all of these things to consider. But in the end, all you really need to consider is your heart and this frequency of love. I really hope I did that some sort of justice, because there are a lot of messages coming through with that. So let's expand on this. I've pulled you these 3 cards that are meant to represent 3 key ideas for you this month. So let's look at these and see. You guys got a variety. You got a color card, you got a nostalgia card, and you got an animal card. So let's see what this is about. You have pickle. Whenever this card comes out, never mind, you guys, I'm so immature. I'm so immature. Let's just say that. Um, okay. Yeah. I think we covered it. I do think for some of you, some of this fear might be arising having to do with a relationship of some sort. And yeah, yeah. I still, again, I'm kind of running through like what messages were coming through from your guides. And like, yeah, again, I think it's apply all of that romantic connection or not, because it's really like, what does your heart say about this person in this situation? You also have gadgets and you have penguin. Okay. What's really interesting about this is the pickle energy really represents like being in like a tight spot, being in a fix, you know, like the saying, like really in a pickle. A dilemma, something that maybe has troubled you, you're in a bind. And I feel like that's sort of the energy here of the fear card, because I think when we do have fears come up, especially about something that is calling to us on a heart level, it is like we're in a pickle. You know what I mean? Because you're like, what am I going to do? I really want to do this, but I'm really, I'm really scared to do that. Like, I really want to move toward this, but it freaks me out at the same time. I really want to set my bar high, set my expectations high, dream really big and believe that this can happen. But it really scares me too. And it scares me that it might not happen. Like, our fears show up in so many ways. Sometimes it's just showing up in a certain way is scary for us because it's like taking on a new identity. And sometimes it's kind of a different thing. Like, sometimes it's literally like, I'm just afraid that that's not gonna, like, I'll put myself out there and it won't work. So yeah, I get this feeling and kind of this push pull here. And I also see that this person here is like finding this peace and serenity in the face of any fear or any doubt this month. So it's really about just, again, like I said, being the observer. Look at the fear for what it is. And kind of disarming it, because that's how I feel like setting those swords down. That means instead of all of these thoughts or these concerns being in her head, they're right here where she can see them. So there might be like, maybe visually put it out there, maybe write it down. Because it does feel like getting all of that out of your head just so that you can really listen to your heart. Because sometimes all those thoughts in our head, they're so loud. They're so loud that it's like, sometimes you can't hear from that, like on that intuitive level. So yeah. What I love about this too is like this gadgets energy. I'm like, I'm tapping into this energy. I'm like, yeah, that's the same energy of the Four of Swords, especially in this deck. So this is working beautifully together. I think this message, I think you must be meant to hear something about kind of quieting the mind this month. Four of Swords energy, meditative energy, contemplative energy. This energy of gadgets really talks about being really connected, being well informed about something. And I feel like for you, this is about quieting the mind, and you are tapped in, you are tuned in. You're tuned into your intuitive knowing about something. You're tuned into that heart space knowing. You are connected. And so that's something that you can like trust. This feeling of trusting your intuition has come out in every single one of the readings for January, which is very interesting. And this one didn't even seem like it was going to go to that place, but it really is going to that place. And this might be literally meditation for some of you, but this is like really trusting that you're tapped in, and also taking the opportunity to be tapped in. Just take a couple of minutes and listen to your heart. As cheesy as that sounds, listen to your heart. Ask yourself, what is my heart saying about this? Not what do I logically think about this, or what did so-and-so say about this? What do you feel about it? There's also kind of this message coming through about making a plan and taking small, consistent action towards something, a systematic kind of approach, putting something in order. And for some of you, if this is about a fear coming up or about the unknown, kind of being like a bit of a fearful situation, just not knowing how something's going to turn out or not having all of the information. There is kind of this feeling of putting something in order, maybe like organizing your notes, organizing what you do know about the scenario, even if it's something new, or making a really definite plan for yourself and just kind of following through on the plan. And that might be a way to keep that fear at bay or keep those worries at bay. Keep yourself, I'll say it like this because it really might not, it might not be on the level of fear for you, but keep yourself from getting in your head, because I think that's what this is about. So sometimes when we just lay out a systematic plan and just take that approach, we don't have to think about it on, like around every corner. We don't have to recontemplate and recalibrate around every corner. We can just work the plan and it can keep us out of our heads and just reevaluate at the end of the month or whatever time period you set. Like, are we still on the right track? What other goals do we want to set? That type of thing. I think that's what that message is about. So let's look into your love and relationships for the month of January, and then also let's take a look at your money, finances for the month of January, and then we're going to close out with some advice. So let's see what we've got going on. Love and relationships number 3 for January 2023. And this can be any type of relationship in your life. This doesn't have to just be romantic partnership, family, friends, even coworkers and business associates will sometimes show up in this portion of the reading. So let's see. What messages do you have? Okay. We have the 10 of Inspiration, 10 of Wands energy. I don't know why your guides, I'm going to clarify with another deck, but your guides were like, I don't know. Oh, okay. Your guides are saying that there was another card. Okay. The 5 of Emotions in reverse. 10 and 5. Okay. I am getting this feeling of like reconciliation for some of you in January. Or the beginning steps. We have the 10 of Wands, which can really represent something that was like a stressful situation for us or a burden for us. And then we also have the 5 of Cups, the 5 of Emotions in this deck, but the 5 of Cups. So this could have even been a situation that left you feeling abandoned, left you feeling left. I'm going to clarify this because I don't know if this is a past situation or a current situation for you. Because this could have been a burden that you're carrying about a past situation, something that didn't happen. Like, it's not happening this month is what this feels like to me. It's not happening this month. It's something that happened before. The loss of something. I think for a lot of you, this is referencing like more difficult relationships in your life. And I feel like there's some kind of, I feel like this is about information here, because if somebody walked away from you, or if there was kind of a feeling of loss or regret around a situation, maybe like a relationship that fell apart, I just feel like this might be a burden that you've been carrying, a worry that you've had. But this feels like maybe gaining some sort of, some more clarity about this or a resolution. So let me clarify this and see. What's the 10 of Inspiration? 5 of Emotions. Oof, 10 of Cups. Yeah. Wow. For some of you, this has to do with family. But this can also be like a committed relationship. This is about having total love and support. So I feel like for a lot of you, there may have been situations in your life where you thought you didn't have love and support of somebody very important to you, or you felt like you had lost a situation. But this is showing that in January, it's like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, or there's movement here. There's something I want to say almost putting your mind at ease about a burden that you've carried. This could be like worrying that that someone didn't care for you. And this is like receiving confirmation that they still do. You might be reconnecting with people from your past, reconnecting with family members. And this doesn't have to be because there was any big drama, because this can be just something that kind of dwindled, or something that like people kind of just went their separate ways with the Five of Emotions. But this is like, I feel like, let's look at the bottom of the deck, the Hanged Man, a stalled situation for some of you. This was a situation that just wasn't moving. And it's like it's weighed heavy on your heart. I love that that Ten of Cups came out for you, because that really is showing positive energy flowing towards situations that you might have wondered if there was any hope left. Wow, I didn't expect all of that, you guys. I like that. I really like that. This to me too, somebody might be expressing a little bit more emotionally to you with this Ten of Cups energy. There might be like an emotional component to a situation that you didn't know about before, or somebody's really pouring their heart out about a situation that has worried you. Wow. Okay. Let's look at your finances for the month. Money, finances, this can be your job, your work, career, school. Money, January 2023. The number 3, please. Money and finances for January 2023, please. Okay, I just saw a card that is flipped in the deck. Did I? I did. We have the Hierophant. For some reason, your guides want me to, hold on a second. Your guides want me to pull another card every time. Okay. 5 of Voices. The Empress. Okay. Okay. And this, I'm not really sure. This might have been in reverse. I think this card is coming out in reverse. I think I'm going to take this in reverse. Okay. I feel like there's a some sort of inner conflict coming to resolution here. So this could be an inner conflict about what to do with your finances. So maybe like, should I put the money toward this or toward that? This could be about your work situation, maybe wanting to kind of change things up. I'm seeing a lot of abundance unfolding for you. And it's interesting that your guides wanted your message to come out like this, because I see this progression. Hierophant energy can talk about like being traditional or following conventions. So this is about following the rules. But I'm seeing this inner conflict in the middle here. And then this Empress energy, which is very, very abundant. So it's a little bit odd, but in the month of January, I just have this feeling. It's like something with your finances. This is about breaking the rules in some way. This is about, especially if you were conflicted about something and you weren't sure which way to go, there might to you seem like there's this right way to do it, or there's this way that people expect me to do it, the way I'm supposed to do it, but I have this other idea. This is to trust that, because Empress energy is very abundant energy. So this could be like a unique idea of yours, that's going to benefit you a lot. And for the Empress to come out in the area of your money, your finances, your career, this is showing a lot of positive energy, a lot of abundant energy, just kind of like blessings flowing in. The Empress is all about creation. So it's like, what are you making this month? What decisions are you making? And how are you kind of, I really feel like breaking the rules here. And this is about like some unique idea. It's funny, we're talking about inner conflict and we have the pickle and like being in a pickle about something, maybe being a little bit afraid to take this path because it's unconventional, or it's like not what you've been advised to do. It's not what you're expected to do. But there's a whole bunch of abundance here. So yeah, either way, you guys, because yeah, I feel like you're going, like, I feel like there's some new idea here that, like, I think a lot of you already have, and you just might have been conflicted about following this path, disappointing somebody, or making a decision that's like unexpected. There's so much abundance for you. So the plans that you're putting in place in January, or the steps that you're taking in January in terms of your career, your finances, I think you're spot on with this Empress energy. But I do see a progression here. So this might be like going the traditional route, trying it the way you're supposed to, kind of feeling conflicted about it, but ultimately figuring out a way to create this abundance in your life your way, like your unique way. Following your heart about something, following your heart when it comes to finances, because that was your overall energy here. What does your heart say? What does your heart say? Not what your boss. What does your boss say? What does tradition say? What does your mama say? It's not that. That's actually not the message. It's what does your heart say? I just split the deck and we have gift from above. Because, you know, the message that, like, here's the thing. Whatever your heart is saying, that's your gift from above. That's your divine inspiration. It might lead you in a way that's a little bit scary sometimes. It might lead you down a path that lets you, or not lets you, but kind of forces you into your head about something, and you might doubt and you might worry about it. But it was a gift from above, that little seed that was planted in your heart. And for some reason, this is coming out for January for you. So for some of you, this is about divine inspiration entering in January. And for others of you, this is about really sitting with that idea of why does this scare you? And what is this here to teach you? And what does your heart say about it all? Is this only scary and unknown and unfamiliar and a little nerve-wracking because you want it so bad? And if that's the case, then this is the direction you're moving in January, toward what's in your heart. And I love that. Let's start the year like that, you guys. Let's do this whole year like that. When you least expect it. Wow. Because we have this energy of you being like tuned in, tapped in with this gadgets energy, and then also like this meditation vibe that I got from this card, I feel like this might be like ideas and inspiration. This seed might get planted in January for some of you, or the advice and the guidance that you need will come to you when you least expect it to. For some of you too, if this is about a person, a relationship that has weighed heavily on you, something that you worried might have been lost forever, a connection that you've worried and wondered about, I feel like you might be hearing from this person, or there's movement in this situation when you least expect it. We have express yourself. Wow. Okay. That's hitting on so many different levels here. Even in your love and relationships, I'm seeing that. Express what's in your heart, I feel like, is what your guides want to say. Just express what's in your heart. And express your, whatever if you have this unique vision and the rules say do it this way in January, express yourself. You don't have to be a clone, because I feel like there's something really unique happening for you in January. You don't have to be a clone. You can do this your own way, and it's what leads to your abundance. It's what leads to, look at this Empress card, and look where that light is shining. Right from the center here. Right from the heart. So express that. Express that, because that's where like the gold is this month. Although it feels bigger than that, it always does. It always does, because you guys are really, really tapped in. So it always feels like it expands past like the time frame that we're looking at, but it's like, just where's your focus here? Just tapping into that frequency of love, following your heart, and don't feel like you have to make decisions based on fear of something not working out or fear of someone thinking a certain thing this month, because this is all about you. This is all about you breaking the rules and following your heart, following that voice that's inside. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for you, number 3. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you enjoyed this reading, if you resonated with any of these messages, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again really soon in another reading. Bye.